it's business as usual. Because what the ANC didn't do was to pronounce on whether, now that the decisions of the National Disciplinary Committee have been upheld, what then happens to the suspension, for example, of Julius Malema of 2010. So because they have not pronounced, whether it's because perhaps there's still, some say there are internal processes that still have to be followed, some say they were not sure what was going to happen, but whatever the case is, the bottom line is the suspensions are not effective just yet until the ANC makes a pronouncement.
But now the suspension period, as it goes on, can only be reduced, but the sanction remains in place, yes?
The sanction remains in place because the appeals committee of Cyril Ramaphosa merely said guilty, guilty, guilty. So because they are guilty on most of those charges, that remains. So the best that they can do is to argue for a reduction of the sentence. Otherwise, it's really a foregone conclusion.
But what would be their strongest argument when arguing for a reduction of sentence?
So they can argue, for example, that whatever they did was an honest pursuit of ANC and ANC Youth League policies, and they will have to produce evidence to actually prove that, or perhaps things that they can bring to the attention of the disciplinary committee, issues that they think they were not as forceful in bringing them to the fore when the case was before the National Disciplinary Committee.
Do you expect the ANC to present evidence in aggravation of sentence?
Well, I actually don't. A lot of people have said things about, Julius Malema's shower gesture and all of that, but I don't think it would be in the interest, because they can then, whoever pursues that can be seen to be really wanting to nail him, and then the argument that he's really being disciplined, that is really, this is not like punishment in a sense, but really a disciplinary process that is done with a good heart. So to that extent, I really don't think the ANC will want to argue for a more aggravated, for a more serious punitive measure than has been imposed already.
But now, if Mr. Malema is not happy with the entire appeals process, his next avenue would be to ask the NEC to review his case. Do you then foresee, or can a divided NEC come to his rescue?
Well, it can, depending on the balance of forces, because as some of us have been saying all along, this has got little to do with Julius Malema himself, but a lot more to do with the politics within the ANC. If the balance of forces is such that the people who support Julius Malema are in bigger numbers and have a bigger influence, then there is that very real possibility of him coming back again.
Where does this leave Malema and his role in the ANC leadership battle?
Well, as things stand, it's still anybody's game until, of course, the other affection calls for the other actions bluff, and it's still anybody's game, and it's too early to tell. But the next 10 or so months are going to be very interesting indeed.
Thank you very much for talking to us. SABC political commentator Vuyo Mvoko. Thank you for your